Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 2. Palace win by 3-2 on a penalty shootout and go on to win the Community Shield. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a reaction to Liverpool and Crystal Palace battling it out at Wembley in the traditional curtain raiser for the brand new Premier League season known as the Community Shield, in which Crystal Palace were victorious. They battled all the way to a 2-2 finish in normal time, and then in the penalty shootout held their nerve thanks to some heroics from Dean Henderson that really helped them towards winning the Community Shield. We're going to be talking about the game. I'm going to be giving my reaction to it away from the watch along that we did earlier. Thank you to each and every single one of you that tuned in for the watch along. Really do appreciate it. But I thought I might try and separate my overall thoughts on the game from that, so I'm doing it in this video. But as always with these videos, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated, and of course get involved in the comments as well. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking and feeling about today's game, whether it's from a Liverpool perspective, whether it's from a Palace perspective, or maybe a neutral / rival fans perspective. What did you think about the game? What did you think about the teams, and so on and so forth? Get involved in the conversation, because I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading. Sound good? Great. Now let's get on with the video ourselves. Let's talk the reaction to Palace versus Liverpool, and Palace coming out as your 2025 Community Shield winners. Look, Palace first and foremost completely deserved it. It was a brilliant victory by Palace. They battled right the way through to the final whistle, and you know, they held their nerve in the penalty shootout when it mattered most, and Liverpool and the experienced players that they had crumbled. Alisson did his best, but misses from the likes of Mohamed Salah, Alexis McAllister and Harvey Elliott didn't help matters, and Palace were deserving winners of the Community Shield. And fair play and amazing play to Crystal Palace for getting the job done. Am I going to lose my head over it? No, of course not. It's a Community Shield at the end of the day. I'm not going to lose my head over it entirely, because I understand that on a list of priorities, it's the least in a season if you obviously do go on to qualify for it. And not only that as well, but not going to give... It's not like I don't care. I'm annoyed that we didn't win. I want to win every game. Of course I do. But if you had to obviously pick a game to lose, this would be one of those games where you'd be like, you know what? I'm cool with losing it. It's a learning experience. It's a learning curve. And that's exactly what it is for Liverpool. Rival fans will have a fun night in bantering Liverpool. A lot of rival fans on social media and things like that will have a fun night in bantering Liverpool about how they spent so much money in the summer and still ended up losing to Crystal Palace, who, to my knowledge, have barely spent anything. And fair play. Fine, fair enough. But there was a lot there, especially in the first half, from a Liverpool perspective, that I can at least be happy about. I can at least see the goodness of what we are building here. Rival fans will love it. Liverpool fans shouldn't be losing their heads over it by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, we can be annoyed. Yeah, we can be a little frustrated that we didn't win it after going the distance in the penalty shootout. And, of course, leading twice to be pegged back twice. But it's not something for a meltdown over. It's not something for a generational head loss over. If you, in fact, look at the bigger picture, you can probably go on and see that there are a number of things there that you can at least look forward to as a Liverpool fan. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but there are certain things there that I was impressed by. First half especially was very, very good. We take the lead very early on. Hugo Ekitike scoring his first goal in Liverpool colours. Lovely little ball inside by Florian Wirtz after some work down the left-hand side between Ekitike and Wirtz. Ekitike shifts it onto his right foot and just puts a beautiful ball into the bottom corner. Typical, sort of becoming like his trademark almost, Ekitike, with that sort of, I'm going to play down the left-hand side, work it onto my right foot and try and bend it into the corner. That's exactly what Ekitike did, and did it beautifully with the way that obviously he took his goal. And like I say, Florian Wirtz gets an assist on top of that. It's a very good day for the Liverpool debutants right off the bat. Then Palace creep into the game a little bit more. Liverpool had a bit of control, but Palace started to creep back into the game. And the worrying part for me was that on a number of occasions, not just this on this one occasion, but on a fair few occasions throughout the game, Liverpool were being completely outdone by 2 or 3 passes. It was like bang, 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 and Palace were through, and Mateta was through. And there were a few times down their right-hand side, our left-hand side, in which a ball over the top and Munoz, with his energy and with his work rate, was just absolutely charging down the right wing to, of course, retain the ball for Crystal Palace. It happened on a number of occasions, and I mentioned in my watch-along that it's a bit of a concern. And then, the one time it actually happens, Palace get a penalty from it. Initially, it's a good save from Alisson Becker, but Virgil van Dijk, who had a shocking game, trips Ismail Assar in the penalty area, and Palace get a penalty. Mateta steps up, converts the penalty, and makes it 1-1. Being on equal terms didn't last for very long though, as Jeremy Frimpong put Liverpool back in front. He restored Liverpool's lead with an unbelievable goal. Unbelievable goal. Szoboszlai just pings the ball out to the right-hand side. Frimpong isolates the defender, Tarek Mitchell. Goes to beat him for pace. Puts in a cross-come shot, which loops over Dean Henderson and into the back of the net. It was a brilliantly well-taken goal from Frimpong. I don't think he means it. I don't want to burst his bubble or anything like that. But I don't think he means it. But it's still a beautifully well-taken goal by the debutant to get his first goal in Liverpool colours. And again, to put Liverpool in front. Liverpool continues to show brilliant signs of something special building, especially in the attacking third. Salah didn't have his best game today. Salah had an absolute stinker by all accounts. But there was still a couple of moments where between him, Ekitike, Wirtz and Gakpo, the 4 of them, they were just showing little bits of pinball off each other. It was actually good to see, and really does show that there were going to be patterns of play going forward, and really does show signs that with a bit more understanding between them, with a bit more experience of playing together, they're actually going to be doing that a lot more and to greater effect later on down the line. But as the game wore on, especially in the second half, it just sort of died down. The sort of buzz, the sort of energy, the sort of the momentum of it all, it sort of died down. And fair play to Crystal Palace for obviously helping kill that sort of momentum that was being built by Liverpool. But ultimately, it was a case of Liverpool not having depth in the right areas, because as soon as Ekitike came off and we started to put Florian Wirtz as the false number 9, whilst he can do it, it just wasn't connecting as well as it was in the first half. There was a lack of intensity, there was a lack of tenacity in that Liverpool front line, and we were just sort of becoming a bit more lethargic and a bit slow. And maybe it's just pre-season rustiness that's still on some of the players, and that's understandable as to why. But you could see that Palace were growing confident into the game. And then, of course, the second goal for Palace comes. The equalising goal again for Palace comes. And it comes from Liverpool just being slow in possession, being a bit careless, Szoboszlai losing it, Van Dijk stepping out of position, and Ismail Assar basically having the freedom of the Wembley penalty area to pick his spot beyond Alisson Becker and put it into the back of the net. Poor from all accounts, poor especially from Van Dijk, who again at fault for the goal. And Palace there have their tails up, and they're looking to obviously get the winner. Now, neither side do go on to get the winner. It obviously goes to penalties, and in the penalty shootout, Salah steps up first for Liverpool and misses. Alexis McAllister has his penalty saved by Dean Henderson. Gakpo scores for Liverpool, but it's another miss from Harvey Elliott. And although Dominic Szoboszlai smashes his into the top corner, obviously the damage had already been done. And despite the best efforts of Alisson Becker, who saved one and watched one crash off of the crossbar, he obviously couldn't help to save the final penalty, which was a very good penalty. I can't remember the guy's name, still eludes me the guy's name, but he came on, absolutely smashed his penalty in, and fair play to him and fair play to Crystal Palace. Like I say, Palace were worthy winners on the afternoon. Overall though, like I say, first half, very, very good. Very, very good. There were signs defensively that we still need things to work out there. And, you know, I would say that maybe with a fully fit Alexis McAllister, maybe with obviously Ryan Gravenberch not being there as well because he was away with obviously becoming a dad recently, and congratulations to him. But you could tell that we did miss that kind of energy and that kind of energy and that awareness from those two in particular. And it's a shame. It is a shame. But it also just shows, again, the lack of depth that we have in defence in terms of Van Dijk was poor. But there's no Joe Gomez for competition because he's constantly injured. Hopefully we do go on and bring in a good centre-back, at least one. And then it obviously was made apparent that when we don't have Ekitike, we lose a lot of mobility in the final third because he was pulling defenders left, right and centre. Like, he was stretching the defence with his runs down the side of the defence, us looking to hit him early. There was a number of times where the likes of Kirkes would just play a ball down the line and he'd just be running onto it because that's the kind of player he is. His work rate and his mobility is something of a worthy asset for us. We just didn't really have that in the second half, and especially when he went off, we lost that even more. So it's clear that we need to get this Isak signing, or at least a signing of somewhat similar quality, over the finish line. And I know that obviously it's not really on us, it's more on Newcastle's side of things to get that deal moving because, you know, for love nor money, they can't seem to buy anybody that's a striker right now. But the quicker they can get that done, then the quicker we can get the Isak deal done, and we've at least got someone to interchange there in that particular position. I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see Rio Ngamoa today. I really was hoping to see him. I was really hoping he'd get an opportunity and a chance to shine, especially as the game wore on later and later in the game. Didn't happen, unfortunately. I hope we do get to see more of him, but I don't know. I do feel like he deserves some opportunities this season, and I'm not just talking about the potential of Carabao Cup games against, you know, with all due respect, lower league opposition. So I'm hoping that we do get to see more of him, but I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't get to see him. But otherwise, there was a fair amount there for us to get excited and optimistic about in terms of the way that our forward four interlinked and played. Obviously, Ekitike gets his goal. Frimpong gets a goal as well. Wirtz gets an assist. It was a very good day for the debutants overall. But yeah, from the ones that you would expect, the likes of Van Dijk and Salah, just a bad day at the office. Like I say, I think we missed Gravenberch. I think we missed a fully fit Alexis McAllister. But yeah, there is certainly things to look out for there and be excited about, and there are certainly things that we need to look for and address. And mainly, it's just depth in certain positions, depth in centre back, depth as a striker, and maybe you can even argue, you know, if you're really relying on those two players in particular, if those two players aren't there in McAllister and Gravenberch, then maybe that could be an area to look at. I don't think it's a priority. I think it's just one of those things. I think it's a bit of pre-season rustiness mixed in with, you know, overall just pre-season, you know, nuances and things of that nature that occur. But yeah, like I say, certainly some things to look for and be positive about, and there's certainly some things to look for as room for improvement. Nothing to overly be completely negative about. Like I say, these things can happen. Like I say, rivals will have their fun. They'll have their fun with it. They'll point at Liverpool and laugh and banter us for about 24 to 48 hours or so. Yeah, we'll take our medicine on that one. But overall, I'm not happy with the result. Never happy when Liverpool lose, no matter what kind of game it is. But at the same time, at least I can look here and go, there are some things to be looking forward to. There are some things to be excited about. There are some things to be optimistic about. But there is still a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done on the training pitch, and there's a lot of work to be done in terms of transfers and getting a couple of key players over the finish line and to Liverpool, to Anfield, before the transfer window shuts. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Liverpool's performance and result against Crystal Palace today in the Community Shield? What do you make of Crystal Palace winning the Community Shield on penalties? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about any of these things and much more down in the comment section below. I'm sure what you have to say will make for great interest in reading, so please do use and abuse that section, people. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.